Hello and welcome everyone. This is Abhinav here, and today we are going to take a look at another beginner level coding problem by CODECHEF, that is the enormous input test. In a previous video we discussed about the ATM problem. The problem code for this question is INTEST, INTEST. Now let's take a look at what the question it offers us. The purpose of this problem is to verify whether the method you are using to read input data is sufficiently fast to handle problems branded with enormous input-output warnings. You are expected to be able to process at least 2.5 MB of the input data per second at runtime. Now let's take a look at the input and output conditions. The input begins with two positive integers n and k, where n and k both are less than equals to 10 raised to power 7. The next n lines of input contain one positive integer ti, not greater than 10 raised to power 9 each. Now for output, we write a single integer to output, denoting how many integers ti are divisible by k. Let's take a look at the test case given. In the test case, we are supposed to enter two inputs, n and k, where n is 7 and k is 3 in this case. N represents the total number of inputs that we need to take, and k represents the number by which we need to check the divisibility of each input. The output should be total number of inputs divisible by k, and in this case we have 4, that is 51, 966,369, 9, and 5 times 9 6. Now let's take a look at the solution. Now first we need to start by getting two variables. We will use map function. I have already explained what the map function does in my previous video. So the numbers we need to enter are of integer type and we need to input them. I have also explained what the split function does in my previous video. Now note that for output we need to count the total number of inputs that are divisible by k. So let the count or initial count be 0. Next, we need to start a loop for entering n numbers. Let it be a for loop from range 0 to n. Next, we enter the input, and the input should be of integer type. Now we check for the condition whether the input is divisible by k or not, and if it is divisible, then we need to update our count variable. And lastly, we need to print the value of count for our output. So this is a code. Now let's check. Here is a test case. And we got the correct output. Now let's submit the code. So our answer is correct and it took 1.9 seconds for the hidden test cases. You can see that for the particular this test case we took around 0.03 seconds, and for hidden test cases, which is usually used to test the worst case of a program, we took 1.9 seconds. Now here I'm going to give you a programming tip. Instead of using a variable to enter a value, you can directly input a value from user without using any variable. This usually is used to shorten up the code. And we have the exact same answer. So this was the code. Now let me tell you about a little something about the range function. In range function, 0 to n means running an output from 0 to n minus 1 value. That means in our case when n equals to 7, we are mainly running from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up to 6. So there are total 7 values that will be entered, but from 0 to 6. So this was the program all about. Like, share and subscribe for more future content coming right on the way. If you have any queries regarding the code, you can write down in the comment section.